Hello, this is Mark Elmo Ellis from Elmo Copy, and today's video is Email Marketing for Business Consultants Part 3. I did Part 1, I did Part 2, and now we're on Part 3, How Consultants Can Use Email. So if you missed Part 1 and Part 2, you can easily go and watch those videos because I have put them both on YouTube. And just all you have to do is type in Email Marketing for Consultants Part 1 and Email Marketing for Consultants Part 2, separately, of course. And then you can click on the links below. But those two videos are on there, so all I have to do is either do a search for it or click the links below. Okay, so I'm going to go into a lot of different things today, but the first thing I want to tackle is the biggest reason you should learn about email marketing. Why should consultants, or any other business owner for that matter, all they can about email marketing, or any other business for that matter? And the reason that you want to learn as much as you can is you don't want to be clueless, right? You don't want to go into a business not knowing how to market your business because you won't know if you're doing it right, for one thing. So we'll get into that a little more as we go through this. So what learning about email marketing can do for you? I just want to point this out. This is something that I've heard over and over again, but in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. So when you have specialized knowledge about something that other people don't, you are going to be the top dog there. People want to know how to have things done, and you will know how to do it. There was a book, if you get a chance to read it, it's by Seth Godin. It's called Linchpin. It's how to become a linchpin where you work at. It will tell you how you can become the one-eyed man at the business you work at, right? It's very interesting. But you want to be the guy that's the go-to guy, the go-to person, the go-to lady, whoever you are, right? The first reason I've got outlined here is you want to understand how to use the most powerful marketing channel online. And email has proven itself over and over again to be super powerful. In my last two videos, I went over the statistics of why this is so, and that it proving once again that online email beats the tar out of social media and just about any other form of promotion that you do. Another reason you need to learn how to use email is so you can confidently hire someone to do the work for you. If you're not going to do your own email marketing, well, when you hire somebody, how are you going to know who to hire? You won't. Same thing with copywriting. If you don't know a lick about copywriting, how are you going to hire a good copywriter? You won't know what kind of questions to ask or what to look for, right? So you need to know something about email marketing. You'll be able to tell whether or not your campaigns are doing well without somebody else telling you. That's another thing. If you get too reliant on somebody else to do all your work for you, then you say, oh, gee, Mr. Email guy, copywriter guy, can you please tell me whether or not I'm doing well enough in my campaigns? Well, he knows he's got you. He could charge you more or whatever. If you don't know how to look at your own analytics and you know something about email, well, then you can do it yourself. And I went over this in the last video on how to use the different tools. Like, for example, if you get an email platform or system to work with, like MailChimp or Aweber or one of those, all of those tools are built into the system. So all you got to do is know how to use it, and it will tell you what your analytics are. In other words, how well your campaigns are working, how many people are clicking on your links and everything. Okay. And then you will learn to make sales using nothing but words and a message. This is the big one, right? You want to make sales with your business. You want to get clients. You want to do all those different things. You can't do it just by posting on social media. Social media is so crowded with everybody trying to gain everybody's attention. There's all kinds of distractions on there that you don't need. But you want to learn to make sales using nothing but words in email. Oh, and the thing that's great about email is email goes straight to the person. It's got their name on it sometimes if you know how to put it on there. And that person will open it up and they'll look at it for a couple seconds. Even if they look at it a couple seconds, it's better than nothing, The only thing that beats email, and I said this in my last video, would be a direct mail piece that you got in your mailbox because you actually have that in your hand. And you have a tendency to leave those lay around your house so you can pick it up later and read it again. So the number one thing you're going to need to learn when using email is how to generate and follow up on leads. So the first thing we want to talk about is how you're going to generate your leads. And the way you generate those is you have these little doohickeys here. They're called forms or opt-in boxes, right? And what you do is basically you fill out your name and you put your email address in there and you click the button that says, I want to make money writing, right? I'll send you an ebook about it, right? Or whatever. Take that out. So, for example, copywriting for cheapskates. If you sign up down here, you get a copy of Copywriting for Cheapskates. Also over here, grab these 3 free books, learn how to make money as a copywriter. You click on that, and of course, you have to give your email address, right? So That's how you do that. So you're generating leads, right? And you'll follow up with those. Number two, you want to know how to build relationships with potential clients. Look at the stat from Oberlo. 21% is the average email open rate. On the other hand, the average open rate for welcome email is 82%. So welcome emails, like right after you sign up for something, you go to this page to sign up, right? And you sign up, and then a welcome email is sent to you, right? So that's what they're talking about, a welcome email. And welcome emails look something like this. I signed up for this a couple days ago. It's a thing that tracks your writing to see how fast and well you're writing and all this stuff, right? So I wanted to get a subscription. I wanted to get on their free subscription. So I signed up, and they sent me this welcome email, right? And you can do that a lot of different ways. I like sending out just plain text messages with what I do, but a lot of companies like adding graphics, and as you can see here. All right. Number three is you can build loyalty with your customers. People love doing business with people they know. Another stat from Statista here, 49% of consumers said they would like to receive promotional emails from their favorite brands on a weekly basis. And once again, thanks to Oberlo for their little graphic here. I sure do appreciate it, but it was so well done that I thought I'd use it. But yeah, 49% of consumers said they would like to receive promotional emails from their favorite brands on a weekly basis. This means that the better you build your relationship with your clients and customers, the better off you'll be. So what better way to do that than with email? Email, they get it every day in their box if you want them to. Most people only do it 2 or 3 times a week, but that's plenty good. Keep yourself in their back pockets. They'll remember who you are. Even if they don't open it up, they'll see your subject line and they'll know it's you, right? Okay, cross-selling and upselling. So when you sell something, which is your primary function with email, you want to sell something, a product or a service or whatever, then as you go along, if you're smart, you'll know to cross-sell and upsell. And as you can see here, someone was selling socks, so they want to, hey, you need some colorful shoelaces to go along with colorful socks. There you go. That's called cross-selling and upselling. You can do it very easy with email. And once again, graphic images look pretty cool on this one. You can sell your products and your services using email. And so this is a solo piece to get sent out. It says dating delights. Find that special person in your life today. Go through, and they're trying to sell you this service, this Zoom dating service that they're selling here, right? Pretty interesting, but that's what you do. You can sell your products and services that way. Okay, now there's 4 different types of emails the companies send out. So we're going to go through those 4 different types. The first one I want to talk about is the solo promo. A solo promo is where they just send one email to you. It's like an advertisement, and basically it's telling you about a product, a service, in this case, a trip that you can go on. If you go ahead and respond today by clicking on one of those little red boxes on the right there, you can start the process of getting ready to go on your trip, right? So on a vacation that you always dreamed of. Hey, this is like the most basic email you can send out, one time announcing a product or a service you want to sell to someone and the reason why they should respond. So that's a solo promo. Then you have the sales lead follow-up email series. Once a person buys your product, you can send them a email that tells them, thank you for buying our product, and we just want to follow up with you and say we know you bought it, and thank you so much for doing that, and here's some extra information you may need about it, right? Especially if it's a warranty or something like that. It makes the customer very happy, makes them feel like, yeah, I did sign up for this, and people almost always, at least I do, I almost always open those up and take a look at them, okay? And that just lets people know that you're serious about your business, that they are a part of your team. And now everybody realizes that once you get one of these, you're going to get more as time goes on, cross-selling, upselling, keeping you in the loop, right? And then the next thing I wanted to tell you about was the interest building email series. This is another type of email. Interest building email series is a series of emails that builds on the previous one. And I'll show you exactly what I mean. But as you can see by this graphic here, Tuesday 5 p.m. one gets sent out. Friday 6 p.m. another one goes out. Monday 6 p.m. Whatever days you want to send them out on. I did Monday, Wednesday, Friday when I was doing mine, but I heard Tuesdays people open them up more. So maybe I should have used Tuesday, Thursday, repeat it again next week. Who knows? But there's different days of the week that people open their emails more. You have to make your own decision about what day you want to send your emails out. Here is an example of an interest building email series. I got this one after being on somebody's email list for a while. It says, "Hi Elmo, as the ancient Chinese proverb said, man who chases two rabbits catches neither." That was a long that was me for a long time. That I discovered an unusual way to make millions. The secret, I call it the gold to money. Here it is in a nutshell. Look at 30 different projects you have going on right now. Figure out which is the closest to generating actual cash. So they're giving you some advice on how to make some money, right? And trying to make it sound like they're not implying anything to do with their business. They're just helping you out, right? So it's a relationship kind of keeping you in the loop. You know, they're not going to talk about their product on this one. They're not going to whatever. Or they're going to talk about somebody else's product and try to make a little affiliate money on the side. Could be. Sometimes I get these kinds of relationship building emails, and they have nothing but pictures of their family and chasing their dogs around, and it's kind of interesting that way. So they just want you to stay in the loop and just try to help you out while they're doing it. So it seems relevant. So here are some action steps you can take. Number one, in order to learn how to do email on your own and write your own emails. Number one, you can get on salespeople's email lists like Tony Robbins, Russell Brunson, Alter Confidential. I get those from that guy every day. Bob Bly, Katie Yackel. And then number two is collect the emails that catch your eye. So when you get these emails starting to roll in after you've subscribed to them, you want to catch the emails that you are attracted to. You read their subject lines and you like them, so you decide to click on it and you say, well, gee, that was a good subject line. I'm going to keep it in my little swipe file so I can learn how to use that later on. You know, you're not going to use exactly the same words they did, but you're going to use something pretty close to it, right? You're going to keep a series of sales emails that you get and keep them in order. I started collecting those, and I've got folders with them in there in order. Solo promos, I collect those whenever I get a good one, and so forth. You know, so you just collect them all. All right. So number three is then once you collect the ones that you want, you're going to start trying to imitate what you're collecting. So you take a simple solo promo and see if you can use the format and the words to sell your own stuff, or just make up something. You know, in this case, we're looking at bottles of olive oil. You know, you could easily use a online program like Canva or something to create one that's very similar to this. By the way, Canva and Vengage is spelled Venngage. Those two sites are very similar, and basically you can create things like this. And by the way, their free system works really well. I've used it to create my own because both of them have like free subscriptions where you can use them somewhat. And so basically, I've created my own advertisements that look just like this. I try to imitate these things when I see them, right? But the headline says, taste one of Italy's finest olive oils. You could say, hey, taste one of Italy's finest wines. taste some of the finest grapes from Italy, whatever you want to put down on there. And you can just pretty much imitate what you see on here. I would switch the words up a little more than that, but I'm just using this as an example off the top of my head. But see, when you go and you try to imitate something like this, you're programming your mind a little bit to be able to understand a little bit about balance and how things are written. And you don't have to make it quite as extensive as this, but when you start imitating these things, though, you start noticing things like you say 60%, that little free red sticker off to the right there, order now at the bottom. You start noticing things like that you didn't really think much about before, right? So just to give you some ideas. Okay, and then start off with a simple solo promotional, right? Okay, so a solo promotional. Now, I'll show you an easy way to learn how to write solo promotional emails. It's very simple. So I was on this one gentleman's email list. He's a very good email marketer, and that's his specialty. And he sent me this solo promo thing, right? And up the top here in red, it says, growing my business seemed really hard to me when I was working my limited salary job with only a few clients in my program pipeline. In fact, it seemed nearly impossible. Every day I dream of a future where I can make $10,000 per month with my ideas. Honestly, I wish I could have had a resource I'm about to share with you because I tried a bunch of stuff that didn't work. See, truthfully, what you really need are just 4 things. Develop your money-making program idea, so forth and so on, right? So this is a solo promo that he has going out. about some business venture he has an offer. Okay. So anyway, so what I did was, and this is what you can do. This is what you need to practice. This is how you get good at doing this. Let's say, for example, I'm trying to sell a copywriting course. I could take this guy's email in red here. That's his, the one in red. And I could use it to fashion my own email message to my sales funnel, right? So I could say, look how he wrote this. Growing my business seemed really hard to me when I was still working my limited salary job with only a few clients in my program pipeline, right? The way I did it was I said, getting my first copywriting clients really sucked because it was hard as hell. I had to work at a grocery store at a freezer all night loading milk containers into the racks. I actually did that. The last thing I wanted to do when I got home was writing. Matter of fact, and so, and the next line he has is, in fact, it seemed nearly impossible. I put, matter of fact, walking past that soft recliner was almost impossible when I got home. I should have. Well, anyway, see, you can have fun with this. I enjoy doing it. Anyway, it's every day I dream of a future where I can make 10,000 per month with my ideas. I put down every night. I would pray to God I could get a few meager clients to kick off my copywriting business. Right. So there you go. And this stuff is not rocket science at all, man. It's very easy to learn. Trust me. So that's the way you could start off with a solo promotional, right? Then you could try, after you've done a couple of those, maybe you could try to write a series like a story, telling, using somebody else's email series. You could just do the same thing, So the next thing you could do is to try to write a series like a story using someone else's email series, just like we just did. So let me give you an example. This was a Cliffhanger series that I wrote. I think maybe I did this off the top of my head. I don't know if I used anybody's. I looked at several before I did this, and I kind of got the idea of how to do it. But this is what you call a Cliffhanger series. And basically, it's a series of emails, and you send them out over the course of, like that chart I showed you a little while ago. You send them out over a course of like a week or so. I think this went on for about 2 weeks. And it was promoting a copywriting course. I think it was the AWAI course or something. And so I was promoting that. And I thought, I'd do a Cliffhanger series. Now, Cliffhanger is just like, when you were a kid, you were watching Batman, and the Batmobile would fly off the cliff, and it'd say, tune in next week to see what happens to Batman. Like he's not going to die when the car hits all those rocks down there, right? But anyway, but mysteriously, he somehow jumped out or ejected. He's got an ejection button or something. But cliffhangers, right? You know what those are, right? So Cliffhanger series, and you want to come back, it makes the person want to read the next email, right? That's the whole idea. So, here's my subject line. Why so many give up on copywriting. And preview text was, my friend Jerry almost gave up his dream of becoming a copywriter. So, hey, Joe, I have a story for you. I have a friend named Jerry who wants to be a copywriter. I got a call from him about 6 months ago, and he was very frustrated. Apparently, he read a blog post about how to learn the craft, so he bought a pile of books on the subject. The books he bought are excellent and penned by copywriting heavyweights. He read Gary Halbert's Born on Letters 3 times, as well as David Ogilvy's book on advertising. And these guys were the best. Both Halbert and Ogilvy made massive amounts of money as copywriters, but there was a problem. As a matter of fact, there was a massive problem. Even though he was practicing his ass off, his progress was terrible. Jerry would start learning one aspect of copywriting and then jump to another. He was jumping from one learning method to the next. He tried writing out famous sales letter by hand, collecting a massive number of copywriting books and ebooks, analyzing and taking part sales copy, so forth and so on. Of course, these tactics ate up a lot of his time, and he became so discouraged, he was about to give up on his dream of becoming a copywriter. Having been a professional instructor for 20 plus years, I knew Jerry was about to give up. As I mentioned earlier, there was a problem with the way Jerry was trying to learn copywriting. Now, just to give you a little background on me, I was a teacher for almost 20 years, and I was also, my master's degree is in e-learning and education technology, right? So I've done a lot of teaching. In my next email, now look at, here it is in yellow. In my next email, I'll tell you what was missing from his method. See that? So it makes them want to come back. So then I go, next one, I tell them a little more about Jerry, right? But I want to show you a little trick I pulled. And I learned this trick from a guy named Colin Theriot. I want to call him The Riot because his name looks like Theriot, but it's pronounced Theriot, like Cheerios almost. Colin, and he's got this thing called a cult of copy. But anyway, he had this. I took one of his courses once, and he had this thing in there where he said, where you're transferring the problem. This is like because this guy's really smart with psychological tricks, right? He says you're transferring the problem of the character you're writing about, which in my case was this guy named Jerry, to the person who's reading it. So look at what I did here. I said, in my last email, I made you a promise. So this message will deliver on that and tell you how to fix your problem. So it's not Jerry's problem anymore. It's their problem. But I don't do that too much. I want to be subtle about this. And so you remember I told you about my buddy Jerry was trying to learn the art of copywriting. Man, he was getting frustrated. Like many of you, Jerry bought books and courses, and he was still struggling. Think about it. You have probably, and I went over this before, right? Earlier I said that's what Jerry did. Now I'm saying you did it. You have probably read piles of books, taken advice on forums, yada, 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 all the way down. So that's another one. And then it says down here at the bottom, guess what? I have the perfect full solution to your problem of learning how to write copy. And next week, I will unpack the resource. And this went on for 2 weeks. That was the next one. There's cliffhanger number 4, cliffhanger number 5. Today is your big payday. I think that was it. I think I went 5 and I stopped. Oh no, 6. I did 6 cliffhangers in the Cliffhanger Series. 7. No, 7. No, 8. I forgot I did this much. Holy crap. But yeah, it just goes on for 8, and I like this one because the last one I said, have you ever noticed that the roads are covered with dead squirrels who could not make a decision? I heard that from a minister at church. I love that line. And then down at the very end of this, I say, look, don't be a dead squirrel. Decide to become the best copywriter you can. Click this link right now, this second, to launch your copywriting career. So it's making them salivate all the way through this. And I put the link in there 2 times whenever I'm promoting. I put one at the top and one at the bottom. Now, you don't want to put too many of them in there because then the spam bots and like Google, Gmail, and a couple others may think that this is spam if you got too many links. They'll kind of push you off into the spam folder or they'll put up an alert saying don't click on this, it's suspicious, right? So you want to set it off too much. There's all these little tricks you got to learn, man. Anyway, when you get a chance, learn, take the time and it's easy. Listen, I'm telling you how easy this is. I'll tell you why. You're looking at probably one of the stupidest people on the planet. I am not a smart person. If you took the word stupid and wrote the word stupid on every grain of sand, on every beach, on every planet in the entire known universe, all of those little stupids would not equal 1/1,000,000th of the stupid I am. So I'm talking like I'm not that brilliant. So what I'm trying to say is you can do this. If I did it, you can do it. You can practice learning how to write this stuff. It's not hard. And all you got, but the thing is, you do have to have a work ethic. You got to plug it in every day. Every day. You can't skip a day. It's like learning, I'm a professional jazz trombone player, man. When I was a kid growing up, man, it was like I never missed a day where I played 3 hours, 2 hours, an hour. But if I didn't have those hours, I put in at least an hour every day, every day. Now I'm doing it with piano somewhat. You got to get an hour in, do what you got to do. All right. So anyway, I hope you got something out of this, and it wasn't too boring or too long. I don't like making really long ones, but it kind of seemed to drag on a little bit longer than I expected. This is Mark Elmo Ellis with Elmo Copy, and like I say, I'll put the links below for the first 2 videos, and then also I'll put a link to my website. Man, there's all kinds of stuff you can get there for free. I mean, tons. And also I think the series that I just showed you of emails is there on my portfolio page. I've got a whole ton of portfolio stuff there. And so you can go and actually download that stuff and put it in a swipe file so you can use it later to see how I did it. So you could do it. Alrighty. Well, God bless, and I hope you have a great day, and I hope you have a prosperous future. Bye-bye.